All right, everybody, let me take this off so you all can see us. Come on in, come on in. Thank you all so much for being here. For anybody new here, hi, I am Maggie, the substitute teacher. We would like to welcome you all to another episode of Let's Talk with Maggie and Lucy. This is where we believe the older women should teach the young, and Lucy and I are the proud founders of the Finishing School for the Modern Woman, which is what we teach privately. But what we'd like to do is come on here with you all twice a week and share with you all from our own lived experience. Together, we have over 40 years of marriage experience. So that's what we do. So, Lucy, please introduce yourself and let us know what are we reacting to today.
Hi, Maggie. Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm Lucy. I have a small channel that has content about femininity, elegance, and things that impact women over a certain age. I think last year, most of the content was teaching Spanish, basic Spanish, but I decided to change the theme and the topics and the content for things that are more related to things that impact women over 50. And then this time, I sent you that video where a man is talking about where the good men are.
Yes, absolutely, everybody. So I'm going to pull that video up and then we are going to watch it and we are going to react from our own lived experience. And then you all can share yours as well. So, again, the name of this video, and I've linked it in the description, is Where Are the Good Men At? So let me get that pulled up and then we will see who we have in the chat as well. So let me give you all a couple of disclaimers. Lucy and I hold on. I pressed it too soon. Lucy and I come from traditional backgrounds, which means we believe in boys and girls become men and women, become husbands and wives, become mom and dads in that order. And we understand that that may be counter to what some people want to do, and that's totally fine. We just encourage you to do that over there because over here you probably won't be happy. And then also, if you want to watch the video without our commentary, like I said, it is linked in the description. So we're going to see who we have in the chat here, and then we are going to get started and give you all a reaction. This is also available on YouTube podcasts as well as YouTube Music. Dr. Steele in the house. Uh-oh, the condemned says, where are the what? I know. This is a question that most men have probably heard, either a question that says, where are the good men? Or a statement that says there are no good men. And ladies, you know how we feel about this. The good men are everywhere. They are in this community, but they move in silence. And that's why a lot of you all don't see them because they've already seen you. All right, let's see. We got Jurgen in from across the pond. Everybody coming through. All right, let me see if I can share my struggle screen and with sound. All right, let me mute myself and let us begin.
Thank you so much for checking out this video. Let's dive into it. So, here's a thing about that I want to kind of address, and that's where we find people at. I was asked the question, and it's a good question. The young lady said she was in her 20s, and wanted to know where to find the good men at. And it's going to be difficult because good men are not just going to be walking around. The good men are at jobs and they're probably going home. They might be in the gym, things along those lines. So part of that. So before I get into where to find them at, let me just talk about this whole vetting process that you need to do. You need to learn how to properly vet. Just because you meet somebody in a good location doesn't mean that because they are in a good location, be it the church, be it the gym, be it a political event, be it at somebody else's wedding, just because they're at some quote unquote a positive environment doesn't mean that they themselves are a positive person. So you really have to do a great job, a better job, a good job at vetting them and making sure that they are who they say they are. Right? You should run the background checks. You should ask them where they work at. And there's some signs that you should be looking out for. People who can't keep a job more than 6 months, right? People who are constantly getting fired, people who are, particularly if they just walk off the job, right? You gotta watch all kind of people like that. So do a good job of vetting them before we get into that.
All right, y'all, I got a lot I want to say about this one. So this man is responding to a woman, a 20-year-old woman who asked him, where are the good men? And there's so much presupposed in that question, but I do want to unpack it here. I would say this, first of all, ladies, we are not necessarily looking for good men. We are not the hunters. I think that's a very masculine role to be out looking. I think we should be able to discern which men have relationship qualities and are husband materials. But I think if you are carrying yourself as a serious woman who is relationship ready, the men who are husbands will find the wives. They do. So I just want to caution women, especially modern women, who think you need to be out here hunting and looking for it. Because when you show up that way, it can be off-putting, and it will be off-putting to a masculine man. They don't respond well to that. You have to finish the way that you start. And unless you want to drive this bus all the way down, I think looking and hunting is not the right approach. You can definitely, I do believe in letting your network know at 20. Like the late great Kevin Samuels used to say, either you're in college or those first jobs right after college, or in that age of life where your life and your hobbies and your experiences should put you around the greatest number of people that you can talk to and share ideas and try to find out if there's a match here. Also, your fathers, your brothers, your uncle, I suggest that single women who are relationship minded should find friends with married couples or other women who are in relationships. Your other single girlfriends, I don't think are going to help you. But the other thing that this question supposes is that, okay, where are all the good men? That means when, let's say you find one, you are relationship ready and you are what he is looking for. And ladies, because we're not built for the rejection that men get every day, I would just caution you to make sure that you are showing up relationship ready, showing up wife ready. And the men, they're going to start asking some questions. Is she spoken for? Whose lady is that? Does she belong to anybody? And then they will, wait for consistency and then make their intentions known. What would you add, Lucy?
I also want to add that question is, for me, I've never had to ask that questions because every time I met a man, he was a good man to me. Again, you are the mirror. The people that you meet are the mirror of who you are. So if you're nice, you're going out there, appreciating life, appreciating people, you will get that in return. If you're somebody that walks around with a sour face, with a face that, I don't need you and I'm here because I'm special, you're going to find the same thing in return. So again, just start looking at life as something positive, because once you start living your life in a positive way, you will get that in return. You can say the universe will give you that in return. God will give you that in return, depending on what you believe.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to see what you all are saying in the comments. But ladies, we have to be more mindful of the words that we speak. I've done a lot of work in this area, but sometimes we just say stuff and you don't realize how it lands on a man. Men think multiple steps ahead. So for a woman to even say, where are all the good men at? What does that say about what you've been entertaining? And to Lucy's point, why have you only experienced men that are not good? At a certain point, ladies, you are the common denominator. Now, this young woman that asked him is only 20 years old. So prayerfully, she doesn't have a lot of experiences. And maybe it's just a naive question with good intention. But you really have to think about, before you open your mouth to announce something or to ask something or to say something, you really have to think, how would a man take this question? And what are all the dots that he's connecting with me asking? Dr. Steele is saying, I agree. Vetting is critical, especially nowadays. And yes, ladies, this is why I say, do not waste your time, because you don't have time to waste. Lucy and I just kicked off our relationship basics class. And one of the things that we stress to the ladies, that this is a life lifetime job. We have to nurture relationships for a lifetime. It doesn't end when you get the ring and the dress and the party. So you have to understand if the man that you are considering is somebody that you can ride this thing out with forever and ever. Amen. So you have to be more grounded, and you have to be more discerning, and you have to see. He's going to go into some of the things he talked about, is he unstable at work and all of these things that speak to his character. Not does he make six figures, not can he fly me out, not any of that stuff, but is this a man that over the course of a lifetime, when times get hard, he has got the stability and he's got the grit to be able to make sure we as a family unit are taken care of. So ladies, especially I get frustrated when, I hear ladies talk about dating as just an opportunity to get dressed up and go to the restaurant that you can't afford by yourself. That is a huge wasted opportunity. You will get the meal. You will get the trip. You will get the trinket. And that's all you will get if he sees that you are not serious. All right. Tired Mommy is saying hello. Sherry is saying good evening. Everybody's saying hello. All right. Lucy, did you want to add anything or go back in?
Let's go back in. If you see me going back and forth, my husband is not here. He had to leave, and I've got the dogs coming in and out. So again, the dogs. So yes, I think we can go back in.
The dogs, they're part of the show. We love the dogs. All right, so let's go back in and see what else he has to say.
All right, so, and don't be offended. One of the biggest things is don't be offended when guys are approaching you in grocery stores or in a department store when they're, you're shopping or something like that. You think you're not made up. I'm just a couple of I'm gonna give up on talking about the wigs, the weaves, and the makeup. I'm gonna give up talking about the wigs, the weaves, and the makeup because you're just not listening. You just don't care. It's not for men. We constantly tell you that we don't like it, but you're constantly doing it. So you just wear it for yourselves. But when we see you in a grocery store and we approach you or at a gas station or at a bank or doing normal stuff, going to the laundromat, whatever. We know that a woman like that is doing her thing, trying to stay clean, trying to stay healthy, trying to get food, whatever's whatever. We see that type of thing. And as unpopular as it is, 2024, men still want a nurturing woman. Surprise, surprise. Who knew? 250,000 years of human evolution, and men still want a nurturing woman.
Oh my goodness, you all. All right, ladies, what can we learn from this? 3 things. Let's start. He said the wigs, the weaves, and the makeup. I am not going to argue you all down. You can do whatever you want to do. However, one of the things that we just told the ladies in the relationship basics class that we did is to listen to what our men say as well as what they don't say. And he said, we've been saying it. Now do it for yourself. Ladies, that's not a place that you want your man to get to. When he's like, you know what, she don't listen, so I'm just going to stop talking. I encourage you ladies to listen the first time, but here's a cheat code, ladies. If the men are saying they want your natural hair and your natural face and everybody else is doing otherwise, you can stand out for the right reasons. If nothing else, it's a conversation starter. One of the things my man said, and I know the hair thing is a hot topic for a lot of women, but he said, babe, we love your hair because we don't get to see it. We don't get to see natural hair anymore. Everybody's so, done up like you're some type of red carpet celebrity when you go to the grocery store just like I do. Pick up the kids in the drive-through carpool just like I do. So I'm going to leave that where it is, but the men are saying they want a real woman. You want a real man? Show up as a real woman. The other thing that he said was, don't be offended when we speak to you at the grocery store, at the bank, or when you're out and about running your errands. And I didn't know this was a thing, ladies, but apparently some women think you should only talk to them when they're dressed to the nines. They're almost offended that you would see them in their natural state and be attracted to that. And he, kind of made a sarcastic comment, in 2024, we still want nurturing women. Ladies, we just talked about this in the relationship class. Relationships are mundane, they are consistent, they are routine. That all that extra stuff is not for every day, at least not for a realistic every day. So when a man sees a woman at the grocery store or running errands or going to the bank or just doing things, what he's thinking is, aha, that's going to be useful to me. She already does those things for herself. So it won't be a lift for me to ask her, can you also pick up my stuff from the dry cleaning? Do you mind picking this up for me? All right. So it is actually a good selling point to be useful and not to be just some pampered princess who sits there and you can't figure out how to do anything. Oh, Swallow D coming through with the $10. Thank you. What would you add, Lucy?
Thank you, Swafdi. I think that he's got a point about women getting offended because they're not wearing like their faces or their nails or everything else when a man talks to them. I mean, if a man approaches you on your natural self, that is something that tells you, wow, this man likes me as I am. So putting all those extra things to them is just too much. When a man approaches you the way you are, that's how he will remember once, if it gets to be a relationship, if you get to be old and gray, he's going to remember, wow, I met this woman the way she was at the store. Remember, babe, when we talked about this? He's not going to be remembering how long your nails were, how many eyelashes you had, how much makeup you had. In fact, that turns men off. Trust me, ladies, all those made up things, it tells them she's high maintenance with all those nails. How is she going to be nurtured with those long nails? How is she going to be taking care of a baby? Is she going to be scratching that baby? That's a lot of money that she's spending. Again, all of those thoughts probably go into a man's head the second they see you. So if they approach you when you're at your natural, my God, that is amazing. And appreciate them for approaching you at your natural self.
Such a good point, ladies. And I'm going to give you another mean old mister quote, and it's going to hurt, but it's true. If you show up all made up and done up, and that is how you present yourself, and he falls in love with that, he is not falling in love with you. And I don't care what y'all say, but at the end of the day, we all want someone to love us for us, with nothing on. We want someone to really love the person who we are, not our representative. Now, I'm not saying don't put effort into looking nice. This is not that at all. Use common sense. But if you look like, somebody that should be on stage with bright lights all the time, that man is thinking, how is that applicable to my everyday life? How is that applicable to my routine life? Like Lucy said, helping with children, taking care of stuff around the house, cooking a meal. You won't want to, do anything too strenuous because you don't want to mess up your manicure. Now, ladies, you choose. I always say, nobody's going to wrestle you to the ground to be in a relationship. Nobody cares. We outnumber the men anyway. They will find someone who can get on the program from day one. But if it's useful to you, hopefully you learn something. All right, let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Let's come on through. Tired Mommy says, good men are everywhere. Too many women are looking for sponsorship instead of partnership, and a lot are still in party mode. Y'all remember what I said about the question that she asked? Where are all the good men at? That means that you've been spending your time with men that you don't consider good men. What does that say about you? So you have to be very careful, ladies. And, one of the things that we started our class with is asking the ladies, why do you want to be in a relationship? When Lucy and I did the wife lessons, which is available on demand, we'll teach it again in March, we talked about looking for a husband or looking for husband qualities in a man, right? So you're not out here hunting, you're observing the way a man moves and saying, okay, is this man moving in a way that is serious and like he is relationship ready? Because you're not going to change him. You're just going to waste your own time and he's going to do what he's going to do. So that vetting is important. The condemned man says, this man is speaking the truth. It's so unfortunate. Many women just don't get it. Samuel says, personally, I like a woman to dress and style her hair like they did in the 50s and 60s. Think Grace Kelly. Yes, I mean, ladies, there's some timeless, style icons, but at the end of the day, consistency is one of the most important things to men, just like respect. So that not only comes in behavior, not only comes in like your finances and how you keep a home, but your appearance too. Of course, you dress up on special occasions, but they want you to be able to get ready. Come on, babe, let's go out. Let me take you out tonight. And you can quickly get ready 20 or 30 minutes. If it's a whole hour and a half makeup routine, you'll find yourself alone. Dr. Steele says, right, there are some women who will look at men crazy when they approach them in non-club settings. What does that say about, so out of touch. This is why many men don't even approach anymore. Let's go back in. That one hurt my heart.
This is shocking. Somebody write an article, a journal about this. Crazy. So, listen. So you can meet a good man. I guess people are going to to grocery stores, to department stores, Home Depot, Lowe's. You can meet them at a fair. You can meet them at a Christmas party that's coming up. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to drop this, but you can meet them, at their job. They're all around you, but you have to. I think one of the biggest things is you have to be open and available mentally. And if you think that the only time that you can be approached is when you are made up, then you might be putting off an air that says, don't approach me. And so therefore you also are overlooking a guy who's approaching you. We're talking about a good man. I'm not putting any parameters on what that means. I'm doing that intentionally. But what I want you to understand is if you have something in your mind that you deem to be good, and that is solely physical. If you're simply looking for the quote unquote the sixes or what kind of car he drives, that is no indication that he is a good man. Let me say that again for the people in the back. His car that he drives, the house that he lives in, the amount of money he makes, his height is no indication about whether this man is going to treat you well. And if you have a child, it's no indication he's going to treat that child well. It's just not. So to continue on having the same conversations, to continuing on doing the same thing and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity.
All right, I want to unpack this one and circle back to what he said earlier in the video. And I just needed a moment to react to what Dr. Steele said. Women look crazy at men who don't approach them in non-club settings. Ladies, you've got to get more serious than this. A club is a place to enjoy yourself, maybe to dance and have a good time. That is not the real world. Real relationships are not found in those party settings. And I think that says a lot about how flawed we are as far as our decision making. Think about it. If a man is seeing you run errands at the bank, at the grocery store, how likely are you to do those things in the real world? So that should tell you this is a man who is looking for someone for the long haul to bring into his real life in the real world. If you want to get picked up at the club, fine. Be the party girl. Be the fun girl. You will get picked up at the club and left right there. So if you find yourself continuing to make the same mistakes, like he said, it's insanity. And one of the things I'm going to challenge you, ladies, another homework assignment. The question was, what is a good man, or where are the good men? And he said, I'm not even going to define good. But ladies, I would challenge you to write down the qualities that you would say are a good man. You don't have to show it to anybody, but I want you to look at that list and say, these are the qualities that I'm looking for. And if they are mostly aesthetic, you're already lost. He said that in the video. Just because a man is the height that you like, or the physique that you like, or drives the car that you like, it says nothing about his character. He could be a monster, but are you so blinded by his frame and the way he wears a pair of jeans that you don't care? You just want to be able to look up to him like, a Disney princess, and he's completely disrespectful to you and everybody else. The other thing that he said in the beginning of the video, it doesn't matter where you meet the man. It matters the character and who that man is. And that goes in good locations, and I'll say even in bad locations. What do I mean by that? He said, just because you meet a man at a wedding, at church, or any of these places, you still have to do your due diligence and vet him just like he's going to be vetting you. Don't just say, oh, well, I was invited to this, Christmas party, and he was invited to this Christmas party, and we both know the host, so that must make him a good person. You don't know that yet. You have to take the time. Don't rush into it. And likewise, I think a lot of ladies miss out on good men because they see him driving a truck, or they see him, lifting a load, or maybe he's dirty at the end of the day, or maybe he just, ran into Home Depot to do whatever his hobby is. He's been working on the car and he's covered in grease or whatever it is. And you're just like, ugh, he's not for me. And then you find out he could have made a wonderful life for you, and you got to live with that regret. So that's the end of this rant, but don't consider the location, consider the character of that man. What would you add, Lucy?
I have to say that one of my sisters, she met her husband at a club, but we were all together. The sisters, us actual sisters, we were there, we were meeting each other, we were talking, then we went to have tacos after the club. So again, it's okay if you meet somebody at a club, but you gotta just make sure that the character is there. Because usually at clubs, we only go to dance and have fun and nothing serious. Lucky for her that she met that right one. But again, it's always looking for that character. And that 666 thing, the looks, the aesthetics, they are fooling. Sometimes they could be fooling, because that guy could have a Lamborghini, but he could have a debt of millions of dollars. And then once you get together with him, you become part of that debt. So again, just because all of those beautiful things are there, it doesn't mean that that guy has good character. And good character, you vet it with probably taking him to your parents' house, to your uncle's house, your brother's. Again, it takes time to vet someone.
Absolutely. Let's see what y'all are saying at the chat. So shout out to the club. Have a good time. Maybe you'll find the love of your life. But again, it wasn't because he was at the club. It was the man that he is. All right. Jurgen is here to let us know he hates the artificial stuff. So ladies, keep slathering it on if you want to. Everybody's coming in and saying hello. Thank you all so much for being here. Samuel says, who goes to Lowe's to meet a woman? The point is this: you could meet a man anywhere. Ladies, it just matters that you are ready when he is ready, and you can discern. And it could be at Lowe's. I think there are some women that are dressing up to go to Home Depot, so I've heard. Discipled one is agreeing. The Condemned says, I gotta disagree with him on that one. It's not safe for men to get romantic or intimate with women on the job nowadays. Too many ways he can lose his job. And yes, unfortunately, Lucy met her husband at work. I met my ex-husband at work. There was a time when men were men and women were women, and things were understood. But because of Me Too and other reasons, it's so risky for a man to be called a creep or shamed or, blasted on the internet. They're not going to take that risk. So ladies, that's what you asked for. And that's what we have. The Clue Channel says, you met a woman at the passport office once. Y'all, I'm telling you, grocery stores, again, the red thread is that they're everywhere. Jurgen is not here for the baby mamas. We hear you loud and clear. Dr. Steele says, facts. I said it at another stream that ladies need to be careful what they wish for. Sometimes if you wish for the sixes, you get the devil. Yeek. All right. Yes. And the men are agreeing. Don't play around at work. It's unfortunate, ladies, but that's where we are. So thank you all. All right. Hallmark makes good car, but foundation for relationships. Not sure I understand. Let's go back in.
We have to, evolve in our thinking. I've talked about this numerous times. We have a mate selection problem, in particular in the Black community. It's probably all over America now. in many places anyway. But we have a serious problem with our mate selection. He's got to be so tall. He's got to have all these sixes. He's got to be this. He's got to be that. He's got to be this. But where's his character? Where's his morals? Where's his ethics? Where's his values? How does he treat his mother? How does he treat his sister? Does he take care of his own kids? How often does he see them? Does he bathe? Is he hygienic? Right? I mean, those are the things that matter. Those are the things that matter, or they should matter. And this is the problem, that they don't seem to matter. That's the problem, is that we don't seem to matter. We'll take the glitz, the glamour, the glory. We'll take the eye candy versus the substance every day of the week. They used to always say the best things come in small packages. They used to say, don't look at the package, look beneath. Don't judge a book by its cover. All these different sayings about trying to get to the inner core of a person. So where they've gone, right? They're not in bars. I don't even think they're in churches anymore, right? A lot of men have given up on the church, right? But you're not going to get them in a bar. So where can you go? You can go to, those type of events, political events, maybe a book reading, go to top golf clubs, golf courses. I saw different events. I saw a thumbnail. I tried to screenshot the thumbnail of a guy, Anton Daniels. He did a video about, I guess, Afro Tech is a national, technological event about the newest tech features or sales or whatever. I don't really know, but Afro Tech. And I guess a lot of women now are going down there because they want those tech geeky guys or whatever. But if you go down there, that is hinted at. I didn't watch the video. That is hinted at in the thumbnail. If you go to those events and you start sleeping around with a bunch of dudes expecting to get a husband, then you're going to ruin that pool of men, insofar as that they are going to think that anybody comes down here is just for play and not for future. So you got to go down there with some dignity. If you go to a sports bar, it's NFL season as I do this. If you go to a sports bar and you got your little book and you're looking cute, and you get somebody's attention, you go in there and start sleeping with all the dudes in there, then you're ruining that. You're ruining yourself, your reputation, and you're ruining the reputation of the bar. Okay, now I can just go in here. I don't got to look for a wife, or these women who are coming in here aren't wife material. They're just a bunch of hoes.
All right. On that note, let's unpack this one with a little colorful language. But ladies, we want to make sure you hear what the men have to say. I loved what he said about how we carry ourselves. Again, like I said, that whole question, where are the good men at, supposes that I'm showing up as a good woman or the type of woman that a man would choose. Ladies, just because you're in front of the man of your dreams doesn't mean he sees wife material in you. So that's why we have to do that work first before we go out there and get rejected and get, embarrassed, humiliated or whatever, because we're not built for the rejection, not the way that men are. The other thing that he talked about when he says, these places that you can meet men, he listed a few of them. And you can have a long list of places. I've got places in classes that I've said, if you want to meet men, go here, here, and here. One of the things that I encourage women to do, because it's important to be authentic, because the men will see through it. Whatever your hobbies or your passion projects are, or if you take a class or go to a lecture or listen to the arts or go to a museum or whatever, I encourage the women to develop themselves and then have conversations with men in those spaces, because you're going to be in an area where you already are naturally inclined to be curious about whatever is going on, film festival, I don't know, make it up. And then just practice your soft skills. And then this way you stay in, relationship readiness. And then you just have to determine if this is a match or not. But I think just being on the hunt, again, which is masculine, and just having this checklist of places that you're going to go, and you show up the way the men don't like, acting out of character, all made up, and you're going to a tech conference and you are known as the loose woman there, it's not going to help you just because you found the good men. If you are not a good woman, your results are the same or worse. What would you add, Lucy?
I agree on the part about going to places that, that have people with the similar values, similar interests. And that helps because you want to be in a relationship with somebody that is pretty compatible with what you do. It's so unfortunate that that Afrotech thing, I did hear about it. I saw a video, I think it was Anton's video, about already women ruining that environment because immediately they become those that are going there to have intimate relations with these techie guys instead of just going there to just meet people. Stop using your sexuality to be liked, to think that you're going to get in a relationship. Stop it, ladies. Maybe the difference between the one that this man wants is you not giving it up so quickly. Stop using your bodies as something that is so loosely, for everybody. Again, we've lost that modesty and that pride to be intact when we are talking to men. It's so unbelievable now how easily young women are willing to give up their bodies for something, for a random friendship. That is so sad. When he said, does he take care of his own kids? That was a little particular for me because I know that in the Black community, Black men are the ones that are not having kids. So that's kind of like a generalization that he put, that not all Black men and not all young men have kids outside of a marriage. So again, just you don't have to go out there always looking for somebody to meet. Go out there, be happy, be content of who you are, and that energy, you will attract that right person to you. This thing, it's so hard for me to understand how these women go out there to specific places to just look for that man. Trust me, those men are going to see you looking for them. They're going to run from you. You want to be at a place, show that you're a lady. You are going to attract the right men to you because of the way that you portray yourself, the way that energy that you give.
Oh, so true, ladies. You can stand out for the right reasons. And Lucy's right. The men can smell the desperation. You're not going to hurry up and get to the finish line just because you wasted your best years or a decade or 2 decades. You're just going to get in line and at the end of the line with everybody else. So yes, stop with the desperation. And the loose woman thing, makes me really sad. When we were growing up, there were women that were known for that in the community. And then there were the good girls. And the good girls now think that they have to become that to get attention. But unfortunately, ladies, the way men look at that, when you lead with that, it's so common now. It's like, okay, that's all you got. There's nothing else to you. There's nothing, worth getting to know. This is your best, because we all lead with our best, right? So if you lead with that, that's the best you got. They'll take advantage of it, and then they'll find somebody else, like he said, with more substance. Are we saying being a prude? Absolutely not. When you are in a relationship or when you're married, have as much fun together as you want to, but wait for an established relationship, or you're just going to be labeled as one of those fun girls, which is, around for a short time and not a long time. And then also, I love what, Lucy said in the community. I think there was a survey, y'all know I don't do statistics, but it showed that Black men were some of the best fathers statistically as far as the time and the energy and the commitment and how much they want to be there. So, ladies, we've got to start looking at real qualities. And I think really it's on us to show up as wife ready, because have you noticed this? There's not a lot of wives walking around unclaimed. Just like he said, the good men aren't just going to be walking around unclaimed. The people who are ready, when they like each other, it's fast and they're out of the game. The ones that are still hanging around, like Lucy said, looking, they know that they aren't of the caliber that they're asking for. So they're trying to hurry up and skip to the front of the line and find somebody and lock it down. But I do believe if you carry yourself as a woman that is different, if nothing else, ladies, it's a conversation starter. Something's different about you. Just like without having all of that going on, it draws people to you, if nothing else, because they're curious. What's your story? You don't seem to be a carbon copy of all these other clones, or you can do your own thing. Let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. Gillis says, because of Me Too, young women now can't differentiate between just a man that is a jerk from a predator. It's sad. Everyone they don't like that tries to be friendly is a predator to them. And yet, ladies, it is so risky for men, and I understand why the men are like, it's not worth it. We talked about this last episode about that bomb detonating. You can accept with grace, or you can exit with grace, but either way, you can be graceful. The Clue Channel says a retreat is a good place to meet and bond with people. Good to know. And again, you go to a retreat because you're actually interested in whatever they're going to do, the wellness, the financial, the whatever. It's authentic. Auntie Jenny's in the house. You all are agreeing with each other. The Condemned says, I've listened to too many women looking for a vibe. I hate that word. That's an extended moment of happiness or excitement. What happens when the vibe passes? Such a good point. Lucy was talking about that in our relationship basics class. Real relationships are mundane. Real relationships are consistent. Real relationships can seem monotonous. Wait for it, ladies. Real relationships can be boring. However, real relationships are comforting. Real relationships are grounding. Real relationships are secure. And real relationships stand the test of time. And as you get older, I'll be 50 next year, you look forward to that consistency. So if you're living your life on a vibe, you're going to be always chasing that vibe, like an addict always chasing that high, looking for the best thing over here, trying to monkey branch. Well, he makes me happy over here, and this one makes me laugh, and this one turns me on. And then what do you end up with? Nothing. Thank you all for liking the live stream. We appreciate it so much. Irving says a lot of women go in thinking negative about men as well. If you have a negative mindset, you do attract negativity. You may not think about it, ladies, but that question in and of itself, the title of the video, where are the good men at, assumes that there aren't any because you haven't found them. Is that coming in with positive intent or negative attitude? Great point. All right. Oh, I'm glad you like this. Yes. No excuses, ladies. No excuses. Let's go back in.
.304s. They're just a bunch of 304s. So another aspect about that is learning how to vet and becoming the best you. You can find the guy will approach you if you're pretty well put together. And I don't mean all made out with makeup. Just they'll approach you in sweats. A good dude. But are you the type? Are you a good woman? Are you giving him what he wants aesthetically? This matters. A good guy is not going to approach you with pink hair. A good guy is not going to approach you, and you look like you're about to go to the strip club. A good man. So you can hang out at Lowe's, you can hang out at Home Depot, you can hang out at Topgolf, you can hang out at an upscale bar, you can hang out at a cigar lounge, you can hang out at all these different places where the higher end people tend to go, these different events and conferences. You can go to all those types of things. But if you go there and you are looking for a man, a husband, you should go there looking modestly. Nice skirt on that's down to your calves. That other stuff, you're just for play. You think it's grabbing their attention and you think he's going to wife you up. If the thumbnail that Anton Daniels put up is true, that these women are out there and it's suggesting, and I don't know, maybe I'll go to Afrotech and see. If that's going on, there you ruin yourself, your reputation, you ruin your chance, you ruin the chance for any other woman to get that man. And these guys are just going to go there and they're just going to turn it into a big 304 fest and big orgy fest.
Oh my goodness, the way men get right to the point. All right, ladies. And yes, my Mike, I see you over on Instagram. If you all want to join the conversation, we are streaming live on YouTube. My channel is Maggie, the Substitute Teacher, or you can come over on Lucy's channel, which is Luke Hazley 20, also on Facebook, USA Global TV, and Twitter. All right, so a couple things I wanted to talk about. It seems like we're echoing the same point, ladies. We've got to show up as the type of woman that is relationship ready. And it really doesn't matter where we are, and it really doesn't matter where the man is. Now, yes, you want to put yourself out there, and nobody's going to come knock on your door and say, I've been looking for you. Where have you been all my life? That's not going to happen. But I love what he said about a serious man is not going to approach you with pink hair. And, for all of the creatives out there and all of the women that love, being bohemian and all of that, that's great. You got your chakras and your crystals and all of that. But men look at that and they don't see you as a serious candidate for a long-term relationship. And if you like to express yourself, I have people close to me that every time I see them, it's something elaborate going on with their hair. And ladies, you have to understand that to men, that shows up as chaos. And again, we told the ladies in the relationship basics, the men that we want, the men that are husband material are very consistent because they have to be consistent to be successful. And it's their success that attracts us to them. So they're not going to allow us to bring our chaos and our Crayola hair, nails, and makeup into their life and then just cause, turn everything upside down that they worked for. They will have fun with you. They will have a wild ride with you, and then they will leave you where you are. So if you want to be taken seriously, you have to be willing to go against the grain. And if your girlfriends or other people or social media says, well, why would you do that? Because you want a real relationship. Everybody's going to have something to say. You just got to choose which voice you're willing to listen to. And so ask yourself, ladies, if you haven't been getting the results that you want, what have you been doing to put off the type of men that you want? And I'll say something else about networking. A lot of women sleep on this. Like he said, what's going on at Afrotech. So the women have heard, the good men or the wealthy men are at these tech conferences. There are so many six-figure jobs in tech. That's fine. However, they brought their 304, as he said, behavior to Afrotech and are turning it into a big party. And he said, you are going to ruin your reputation, ladies. So you think that you're racing to the finish line, but what happens is that's what you get known for. And here's the thing, ladies, even if it's not a love match with this man that you may be talking to, you never know who he may know. You never know who's in his network. He may be able to recommend you to somebody. Just because it doesn't work out with him, part of the reason I say exit with grace, ladies, is to maintain your reputation, because the men that we want have a network. And believe me, they're going to run you by your reputation by the people that they know. They're going to do their own checks on you. So if you had this crazy behavior over here and that's what you're known for, and then you find this guy, you're just like, I like you, you like me, take a risk on it. If you're a liability, if other men in his circle cannot speak well of you, he is not going to take the risk with you because that lowers his status in his network. So ladies, you got to come up out of yourself and stop thinking about just me and I like you and you like me. This man has a brand. He has a reputation. He has something that he has to uphold, and you have to be an asset to that, not a liability, like Lucy says. What would you add, Lucy?
Yeah, and unfortunately, when men see that color hair, like that nose, bull ring nose, those metal things in your noses that it's coming out, metals on your face, tattoos all over the place, they see right there, that's trouble. They see, because again, if you think about the man the good man, a stable man, a consistent man, he's not going to want to take that into a board meeting. He's not going to want to take that into, their family. Hi, mom, meet my future wife. That's the last thing. Your mom, if you have a traditional mom, she's going to say, well, wait a minute. This person is, tattooed, medals all over the place, color all over the place. All that person wants is attention. Do you want to be always covering this woman that is always asking for attention? So again, there's reasons why men just do not like that kind of attention calling behavior. And again, a lot of those attention calling behaviors also tell a lot about that person's background, childhood, mental state, all of that stuff. Again, men make betting also, like the visuals are really important for men. When they see that, they're like, wait a minute, that's a liability. Is that something that I want to deal with on a long run, on the long term?
Absolutely. And I didn't want to forget this one. Suave D came in again with the $5. So thank you so much. So consistent. You all don't even have to be here to listen to us, but you come through and you support, especially the men that support. Because Lucy and I speak to the women and the men that lift us up and tell us, keep going. We appreciate it. All right. Let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Let me go back because you all have been coming in hot and heavy. Yes, we are teaching the women not to make excuses. And ladies, look, like I always give you all the disclaimer. This is for the women that want serious relationships. And I understand and I accept not everybody does. Not every woman is a wife. Not every man is a husband. Doesn't make you a bad person. But if you are not relationship ready, then you need to find your match and leave the husbands alone. See, Irving is agreeing 100% and asking us, did we hear about the woman who slept with 100 men in 24 hours just for notoriety? I heard about this. I was physically sick. I was disgusted. And yeah, I just, like Lucy said, that mental state is something serious going on here. And here's the thing, ladies, I'm not going to derail on this one, but the men that she's allowing to have access to her just so she can break a world record are going to go on and live their lives with their families, create their own memories and be like, oh my God, yeah, you remember that girl? Remember that time? Whatever. Men were calling their friends and say, hey, come on, they need more. They will use you. They will. Ladies, I think sometimes you think men are going to be like, oh no, you're a good girl. I'm not going to do that. If you make yourself available, they're going to be like, been getting all these no's. I got a yes. Why not take advantage of it? And then they will go live their productive lives. And you are left being known as that girl. You have no future. This girl is 23, and I don't think she understands the gravity of the situation. You have absolutely destroyed any potential future, and you're going to live with that for the next 70 years. Let me get back because, yeah. Discipled One says, find a space that you love and go there. Agreed. And so when you meet people in that space, you already have something in common. Irving says, thank you, Lucy. That's true. How you present yourself is what you attract. There you have it, ladies. You hear it from the men. Condemn says, facts, Lucy. A lot of women are just looking for a quick come up, not a serious, loving, long-term relationship. And you know why? Just like we told the ladies in the relationship class, relationships are work. And ladies, you have to really think about, am I cut out for this work? Not one time, not 1 year, for a lifetime. We asked the women in the class who was their wife inspiration. And a lot of them have women in their family and in their areas that they've been watching for decades show up for their husbands and show up for their families. If you're not cut out for that, fine. Say so and move on. All right, let's see. Irving says, leading with your body is boring. Ladies, I hate to say it, but the men that have had experiences will tell you it's pretty much all the same. You think it's amazing. But what's amazing is the bond they have with you. When there's a real love and a real relationship there, that's what elevates the experience. The physical experience is just a physical experience. And I've talked to some of our biggest sponsors, and they will tell you, of all of my experiences, maybe 2 or 3 of them meant something. So what does that mean for all those other women that led with it thinking they were going to change something? So wait for the relationship first. Believe me, it'll be so much better. Disciple 1 says, I think it's on us to be wife ready. Yeah, ladies, the men are not going to wait on you to become wives, and they're not going to train you to be a wife. That is our job. The older women, the mothers, should have prepared you. And if you did not get that, you need to seek it out or not. Irving says, so true. You remember telling your girlfriend, and the women get picked up fast if you show up ready. Don't make excuses for the single girlfriends. We had that episode about the girls trips. Again, ladies, you got to decide what's the priority, your career or your relationship, your girlfriends or your relationship, your shopping habit or your relationship. You're going to have to prioritize, and y'all love this. All right, let's go back in.
I'm talking to the women who want husbands. You want husbands. You got to be you want a husband, you got to be a wife. You want a husband, you got to be a wife. Got to be modest, put together, about your business, on your game, making moves, nurturing, caring. And yes, know how to do domestic chores. Everybody should know how to do domestic chores. Everybody should know how to do domestic chores. But you know, men are generally looking for someone who's nurturing, just like women are generally looking for a protector provider. That hasn't changed. So why is it got to change for the men? What they want? Oh, it's 2024. Why we still got to cook and clean? All right. It's 2024. Why I still got to protect you? See how dumb that sounds? Excuse me. See how ickish that sounds? All right. So I made this long enough. So listen, it's not so much about the place, although there are places you can go to, upscale bar, to a cigar lounge, to events, conferences, you know, sorority parties. I'm talking about out of college. You know, the sororities are join a sorority, you know, and they'll hook up with the frat brothers, mature frat brothers. I'm not talking about those who are still in college. You know, be open to people who are in grocery stores. Get this. If you're looking for a good man, that good man might not come in the wrapping in the package that you perceive him to be coming in. So you got to be open to different types of packages. As far as, you know, the wrapping, you got to be open to that. So, you know, you know, and these guys are going to be working, right? So you might meet them at work, go to the gym, and you know, and the gym is becoming such a hostile, toxic place for men that you're going to, if you're in a gym, you're going to have to approach the man first. And he might be scared and be like, oh man, you know, don't talk to me. I've seen some videos like that. So I haven't been to the gym in a while, but when I would go to the gym and there would be ladies walking around, headphones in, head down, working out. So because I don't need any smoke, I don't need any craziness. Of course, I was married at the time. I haven't been to the gym years. So, and we had one at the PD, so I just used that one. I used the free one. So, but you know, those are the type of things. You know, clubs, fairs, events. You know, you gotta find them. And top golf clubs, golf courses. You know, all that kind of stuff, right? So I hope I said something that is going to be, you know, valuable to you. So build a network around you to help you to vet when you find them. Go to where they would be open yourself to receiving it. You know, don't be so hard about he's got to be this and this financial bracket and socioeconomic status and all. Don't be so hard about that. Vet them, and then you got to work on yourself to make sure that you are a good wife. wifely duties, wifely responsibilities. And I'd like to say, but whatever that means to you, but I think we got to start thinking collectively. I think individualistic type of thinking is why we're in this situation right now, where marriages fall apart at the drop of a dime because we're too individualistic. It's about me, myself, and maybe my kids. It's about me, myself, and maybe my kids. And your spouse, we don't look at our spouses as being one and connected. We don't look at our spouses as being one. And that was, from all different traditions. I can't say all, I don't know about all, but the vast majority of traditions, marriage meant you were melding of everything. You were melding of almost personalities. And when this idea has come along that we don't have to think the same way, and I can still be my own person within the marriage, and that is wrong. I think that's wrong. That's causing all this divorce. When you start thinking that you are, your opinions, your thoughts are all that matter in this relationship, and it trumps the relationship, I think that's a recipe for disaster. You have to be wholly dedicated towards the marriage. So before you go looking for that man, before you go looking for him, make sure you've done the internal work, that you are ready to give yourself wholly and completely. And this is it. This is me. This is you. And we are now, me and you are now we, and we are in this for the rest of our lives.
I absolutely love that. I wanted that to play out, and I'm glad he corrected at the end, because I was going to slightly disagree with him, but he said a lot there, ladies. Hopefully you get it. The red thread is you can meet good men anywhere. They're all around us. They're in the community, they're supporting us, they're all around you and working. Where I was going to maybe disagree, but he cleaned it up at the end. He said, before, go looking for the men in these areas, but make sure you do the inner work. I was just going to say the inner work has to come first, ladies. The inner work, you have to be the kind of woman that says, this is a wife. The reason why Lucy and I don't have these experiences, don't have these crazy dating dramas and all the things, is because we have been consistently showing up as wives or wife material from day one. So it was really just like, is this a match? Is this my forever and ever? That's really, it's simpler than we have made it. Now, I know a lot of women didn't get that training, and so that's why we're trying to help. But what I see with a lot of women is you meet that one, but you're not ready. And then your hair's on fire. You're trying to fix it and hurry up and race to the finish line, but that man is not going to wait on you. So it would be better to slow down before you speed up. And he said something about making sure that you are the quality or a good wife or a good woman. But he said, not by your definition. Ladies, we have to stop thinking what we think is great and wonderful to the man that we want. You have to know these men, like we talked about in the relationship basics. You have to study these men and know what they need, and then be what they need so that it's useful to them. That's how you get taken aboard. That's how you get claimed as somebody's own. But if you're like, you know what? I like to go to the spa, and I like to travel, and I like to do all these things, and I like to talk about my day, and I just think I'm so much fun to be with. Great. But is that what he wants? And if you don't know what he wants, then you need to learn what he wants and then ask yourself, can I be that? And if you can't be that, then that's not the man for you. It doesn't matter how attracted you are to him. The last thing I'll say is this, he talked about a long list of locations, but ultimately it comes down to, ladies, you've got to have an interesting life on your own. You've got to have your own hobbies, passion projects. Maybe it's your work. Maybe it's some volunteer work that you do, or something that you're passionate about, so that when you do meet somebody, you have something interesting to contribute and talk about. That's not just leading with, the basic thing that you came built with. Like my man said, what, you just going to get dressed and show up? Is that all you got? So you have to have more than that. So hopefully that was helpful. Lucy, what would you add?
Yes, and unfortunately, the modern world has made something so simple as a marriage so hard. I mean, you're either ready to be married and go the long term, or you don't. And that's where I think for women, that's where you have to say, am I ready to take on the responsibility to be the wife to this man, for better or for worse, for rich, for poor, till death do us part, or not? If you're not, then you're not ready for that. If you are, then you need to start working on becoming that wife, that person that will support him for the rest of the life that you're together.
Absolutely. So you all were coming in hot on this one, but I think we'll wrap it up. I'll read the last couple. Irving says exactly, Maggie. A lot of women equate what they think is good enough for them means it's good enough for the men that they meet. You like how I broke that down? Well, I'm glad that's helpful. That's our job here. Lucy and I want to make sure that the ladies have the information. Do with it what you will. The internet is forever. But, again, if you don't have the relationship outcomes that you want, it's not because there's a shortage of good men. Because even if I put the man in front of you, the man of your dreams in front of you, there he is. Are you ready? And are you able to become everything that he needs you to be? And if the answer is no, then you still have some work to do. And if you don't look forward to that work, if you don't have joy in wanting to get better, if being a wife, being a good wife doesn't excite you like that promotion or that Birkin bag or whatever else, then relationship is not a priority for you. Know that, say that, and move on. All right. Jurgen says, when a woman only tells me about her job, it's done. And Killa says, that's how I grew up. When you get married, you become one person. It's God, your husband, and then everything else. You all against the world. From what I've seen, it's not how it is in the U.S. Interesting to hear him say that. Yeah, modern world, Western world has put self over family. And that's why we are in the predicament that we are. So, ladies, we're going to go ahead and wrap it here. I hope that was interesting to you all. Thank you all so much for watching on Instagram and on TikTok. Thank you, Suave D, for the $10 and the $5. We appreciate it so, so much. And all of the men who support and encourage us to keep going. We believe in our legacy is making relationships better, which makes families better, which makes communities better, which makes society better. That is important to me. All right. So let's see. Announcements, relationship basics. We started today. All of our courses now are available if you want to buy them and self-study on demand. We are teaching live, which is Saturday, December 21st will be the final session. So you're welcome to if you would like to, but you can also get it on self-study. So ladies, if what we said went over your head and you have no idea where to begin, we had a really good session today. I'll get that uploaded and you can get caught up. And then also the finishing school for the modern woman. Workbooks have arrived. Those of you all that are registered, I'll be mailing out your workbook soon because I'm traveling at the end of the year. So I want to make sure you all have them. Our flagship course for ladies who want to be the best version of themselves, leading with femininity, elegance, etiquette, social skills, social media, communication, body language, style, all of that. We have the Femininity Project watching over on Instagram. So much good content to help you in a private environment appreciate what it means to be a woman. And it helps you socially, personally, professionally, and all of that. Those that attend live will be eligible to join us in Atlanta for our graduation weekend. One of our sponsors is sending us out on a yacht cruise. So that's only for our students, the ones who sign up for January. And you can use code Maggie for the discount, or if you're a returning student. All right. I think that's everything. Anything else that I missed, Lucy, or are we all set?
I think we're all set. Do we meet on Wednesday again?
Oh, let me check and see. Y'all know this time of year. All right, so we're usually with you all Wednesdays and Saturdays. So the 18th, I want to say yes, but no. I think I have a YouTube event. So it depends on what time. Oh, that would be 9 o'clock. Yeah, probably not this Wednesday, but we will definitely be with you all next week, Saturday, so a week from today. And you can watch the replay if you came on late. It's available on YouTube, also available on YouTube Podcast Shelf, and also available on YouTube Music. Let's Talk with Maggie and Lucy. All right. So turn on your notifications and we'll catch you all on the next one. Until then, adios.
you.